All right, geometry. This is your day 14 AMI. We're working on triangle congruence. There are several different types of triangle congruence. We're going to work on these piece by piece. And yes, I do have glasses. This just helps conceal my under eye bags because I'm not wearing makeup today. And it also helps me see what I have written down here. So it turns out I need a little more help than what I thought. On your triangle congruence for day 14, the question you're asked is, what additional info do you need to prove triangle congruence using whatever it has listed above your triangles? We're going to start off with SAS, which is side, angle, side. Side, angle, side. And with side, angle, side, we have two triangles that are congruent to each other, and we have to prove some certain pieces of information. Now these triangles are already marked with a pair of sides here that are congruent and a pair of sides here that are congruent. And side angle side says that I have two congruent sides and the included angle that's also congruent to one another. Included means it's made up of your already congruent sides. So these two sides are congruent. This is the angle that those sides make. So I need to prove, and I just need to mark this on my diagram, that this angle is congruent to that one. And we've proved SAS for these two triangles. Now, angle, side, angle, same thing, only we're looking for the included side. Angle, side, angle means that I have two angles that are congruent to one another and the included side. So for these two that I have labeled here, I know this angle is congruent to this one, this side is congruent to this one, and so I need to look at the other angle that makes up this side, right? So this angle right here, make sure that that side is included. And so this finishes the congruency for this pair of triangles. Okay, our next three with triangle congruence, we have angle, angle, side. HL is hypotenuse, leg, and then side, side, side. So with angle, angle, side, I'm looking at two angles that are congruent and a side that is not included. Okay, it's not between my angles. So if I'm looking at this diagram here, I already have two angles that are congruent to one another and a side that's congruent. So I need to pick a couple of these other angles to also be congruent to one another. So if I make that one and that one congruent, then these two triangles are congruent to one another. Angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. On hypotenuse leg, this says that the hypotenuse is congruent to one another and they have a leg that is congruent to one another. In this one, my triangles are together and my hypotenuse is directly across. If this is a right angle, this is a right angle, my hypotenuse is directly across from my right angles. Those have to be congruent for a hypotenuse leg. So I'm going to mark them congruent. Now for the leg part of this, I need another set of sides that's congruent. Well, they both share this side right here. So this side has to be congruent to itself. And so in a right triangle, I've proved congruence if I know that the hypotenuses are congruent and then that one of the legs is congruent. And so that one's complete. And then the last one we have is side, 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 which is just looking at all three sides being congruent to corresponding sides in the other triangle. I already have two that are congruent. This is congruent to this side to this side. So I just need to mark that last one is congruent to the corresponding side in that second triangle. And that's side, side, side.